As you can see from this table full of tech, we need to do a new build, and this time it's my own build. We're going to use for this PC the B460 Steel Legend from Asrock, which was kind enough to send me over, thanks to Cindy. We're going to use 16 gigs of 3600 MHz RAM DDR4, of course, from Viper, and this was sent by Viper, thanks to IBA. Ooh. Then we're going to use the i3 10100F, which is the baseline model for the 10th generation of Intel processors. We're going to use the Antec DP502, which I love. I've been using this for months, so I know this very well. As for the GPU, we're going to use a pretty old RX 460, which is probably going to be my next upgrade. And for cooling, even if it's a little bit overkill, to be honest, we're going to use the Mercury 240 by Antec also. For power delivery, HCG 750 watt full modular 80 plus bronze power supply, also from Antec. All the Antec products are sent by Carlo, which I thank, and you will be able to find all the parts used in this video on the link in bio. So let's get started. So let's open the motherboard. I'm not sure if you've already seen the video about this motherboard. If not, check it out. I'll leave it the pop-up screen right now, or I'm going to publish it the next week, but either way, let's take all the papers and cables off, and let's take the MoBo itself. Let's close the box and put the motherboard right here. So the foam is not necessary anymore because it is gonna stay on my PC, you know. So now let's open the processor. It's sealed because it's brand new. I've only paid this 92 euros, which I think it's pretty nice because 4 core, 8 threads, 3.6 GHz, base clock, 4.2 if I'm not wrong, turbo. So pretty damn good. I'm not gonna use the included heatsink because, as I said earlier, I have the Mercury 240, but it's included, so that's nice. Better to have it than not have it. How the hell do I open this box?
Sono io incapace o...
No, è...
Aspetta, è duro assafanato. Ma se piglio tipo una forbice?
Of cardboard, remove the heatsink. The thermal paste is pre-applied, but let's jump to the main thing, of course, the CPU. Let's open the socket up. Okay. Let's remove the CPU from its plastic protection, and there are two little pieces of plastic here, which needs to be aligned with these little holes on the CPU, but I mean it's the right way. You only need to place this here, move it a little bit, close this up, push it, then push this down, and there you go. The plastic piece is off, the CPU is installed correctly, and we can now pass to the RAM, which I'm not sure which slot needs to be filled up as first, e devo consultare il manuale. So In this case, the priority slots are the A2, which is the second one, and the B2, which is the fourth one. Always read the manual for the application of the RAM because it changes from MoBo from motherboard to motherboard. If you go with this MoBo, it's A2 and B2. For installing RAM, super easy. See where the notch is, align it with the notch on the motherboard, and push it. You've heard the click. This means the RAM's installed correctly. The same for this. And we're ready to go. We have nothing left to do really on the MoBo, so the only thing left to do is to remove these peels. Oof. And this one doesn't have it, so we're done on the MoBo. Let's take the case, remove my old motherboard and CPU RAM, and install the new one. So remember the shield, because last time I forgot to install it and I just spent like 3 months without any shield whatsoever. It's not a drama, but it's pretty ugly, to be honest. You just need to press it down and it should pop in position, as you can clearly hear. We've already placed the standoffs, which are those tiny screws, in the right position, so we need to install the mount for this thing. So let's mount that. The only thing left we need to do is to install it. I've already placed the shield, we need to fit it up. Cable management is going to be a pain in the as always, but so now the only thing left to do on the motherboard is to connect all the various cables, but I'm gonna do that in a second moment. We also need to install the heatsink, and we're gonna use the Arctis MX2 thermal paste for this, just your standard thermal paste. Perché non metta fuoco, okay. So let's place that, and then we can add the GPU also. Just like rice amount of thermal paste, this will be more than enough. No, devo metterlo torto. Brutto, brutto. We also need to change the bracket of the all-in-one, I forgot to do that. Okay, I've changed the brackets for the pump because it was the old bracket, there was installed the old bracket, so for AMD, and of course it wasn't fitting whatsoever. Okay, an important thing to remember is to place these little, let me show it to you, these little nuts like a cross. So the first one needs to be placed at one end, let's say right here, and let's screw it down, not all the way like this. Let's place the other nut and do this one in the opposite corner, so the pressure on the CPU and on the socket, it's the same in every area of the processor, and you won't get like a hotter core and a colder one, but it will spread the same. And now we can screw the screws, sorry for the bad word joke, all the way down. We're gonna do it once again at cross shape. Okay, so we can now place the GPU, and then the only thing left to do is going to be the cable management, with which I'm not gonna show it to you because it's boring. Let me place the autofocus. This is an RX 460 4 gigs from Gigabyte. Let's unplug this little connector and By the way, this first PCI Express slot 16X, it's reinforced, which is nice because even with this light GPU, you actually see a little bit of a bend. Okay, not sure if you've heard that, but there was a click which confirmed that the GPU is settled correctly. So now I'm going to do the cable management, and you're going to see the build at the end of it, ready to start, hopefully, of course. This should be the moment. Let's turn on the power supply. Okay, this is a good sign because the LEDs on the motherboard are showing up. Let's see if it boots. Yes, it boots just fine. Not sure which monitor I connected. I only connected one. Let's see if it posts something. Yes, perfect. Now I'll have to connect the keyboard because of course I've changed everything, so it's pissed off, but let's see. This is what you guys see. A PC finally built, everything's fine. This is what everyone else who enters this room sees. Yes. It's gonna take me like a good hour to clean all this mess.